This is that of the 11 to 12 years, and you can see how lovely it looks. So nice. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to a new class. In today's class, we are going to be making this combat trouser for boys. Okay, so this ready-made one I have here is for a boy of 11 to 12 years. Okay, and this is what it looks like. You can see how beautiful it is. So this is measurement, but the one I'll be making now is for a boy of 13 to 14 years. Although the length, this boy is very tall and slim, so just take the measurement of your boy. All I did now is to fold over some fabric. So I'll be drafting both the front and the back. So here are the measurements, so you can pause to check out the measurements. So he is not a slim person. So to fold, I just folded 15 inches. Yes, that's about roughly a yard. So now, how do you know what to fold? The tie measurement is 22 divided by 2 is going to give me 11. So just add extra 4 inches to that. And when you are taking all these measurements, make sure it is loose, especially for boys, okay? So the next thing I will now do is the length of the trouser. Here I have 37 inches. But remember, there's still 2 inches band to be attached. This is the band I'm making use of. That's 2 inches. So with that, you can still just leave it at that. So here I just measured 38. So I'll be folding in about 1.5. So this is the starting point. Can you see? Straight here. So I have 38 inches. Good. So to now start drafting, the first thing you want to do is the crotch depth. So the crotch depth for him is 9 inches, and I just take it the same way I take for female. I told him to sit on a flat surface, and then from his waist down to the flat surface of the chair or stool or whatever she is sitting on. So that's how I got that. So for him, it is 9 inches for the crotch, and I made a straight line there. After you've done that, the next thing is to put the hip measurement here. How did I go about that? His hip measurement is 36.5. I just made that 37. So when you divide 37 by 4, you are going to be having 9.25. Then just add 1 inch size seam allowance to that, which will make it 10.25, which I measured on the crotch and on the waist area, and then I created this line. You might be wondering, I did not add any heels. All those heels will be added at the back. Okay, so now if you want it to be free at the same time fitted, I'm going to show you both trouser on the guys. So all I have to do now is to come up by 2 inches or 2.5 inches on this hip line. Okay, and so for a girl, you might want to make it for your girl. Once you measure that, you just come in by 1/2 inch here and connect it. But for boys, you can just leave it as that. So once that is done, we are going to form the crotch. And how do you do that? Just take half of the tie measurement, which is 11. Is 22 divided by 2 will give you 11. Then you are going to add 1 inch seam allowance to that too, because 1/2 inch here by the side and then at the crotch. That's why I'm adding 1 inch seam allowance to that. It's half inch you take for your seam allowance. So 11 plus 1 will give us 12. So I'm just going to mark 12 and then form the crotch. So the crotch has been formed. So now the length of the trouser. So all I'm going to do now is to get the midpoint from the beginning here to this part. So here I have 12 and yes, 12. That's 12. Half of that is 6. Okay, so I'm just going to mark 6. So that means I have 6 from here. Then I'm going to go to the end here and measure 6 inches and draw a straight line. So now that will be the crease line. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come to this part, and then I'm going to go in by 1 inch here. 1 inch, then I'll measure what I have next, so that should be 5. So 5 inches there, then I'll come here and mark 5 inches. So that is it. Then I'll connect from here to the crotch line. So once I've done that, here I'm going to use my pant cuff to do that. So to connect, I'll just come to somewhere around here, measure what I have here. That is this line that passed through. So this 5.5, I move forward 5.5. So at that point, I'll connect straight here. Then use my pant cuff to connect from here straight to this point. So the trouser is ready. So that is it for the front, okay? So from here straight down, that is it on how to draft the trouser. So the next thing is this. I'll just draft my back here too, then cut out the back, use it to cut another back, then trim out the front, okay? So what I'm going to do next is to get the back. All you have to do is this. From here, just add like for the boy of 11, I did 1.5. I added 1.5 here, 1.5, 1.5. But at this crotch part, I added 2 inches extra. So for him too, I will do 2 inches at the crotch extension for the back because the back is longer. But here now, I'm going to do 1 3/4 for him. But for that, the boy of 11, I did 1.5 or even 1 1/4. So here I'm doing 1 3/4. So here 1 3/4. So that is the ease because we've added seam allowance to the measurement of the front. So this is the ease now at the back. Okay, then I can form the crotch. Can you see? So this is for the front, this is for the back. So now let's quickly finish for the back. So for the back now, I'm just going to go up by 1 inch here. 1 inch. So you extend this upward. That's only for the back. Then to the end. So that is it for the back. So now coming here now. So we added 2 inches here, 1 3/4 here. So here I'm just going to add 1 inch alone. Okay, because you don't want it too wide and looking upward. So 1 inch, I'll come here 1 inch. Okay, and I'm going to use the pant cuff too. So that is the ease. And you see how fast it is. So what we have to do is to cut out. Okay, so I'm going to cut the back. So the back is what I'll use to cut out the other one. So watch. So this is what it looks like after cutting. So I'm going to place this on another fabric and cut the exact same thing because it cuts out on another fabric. Okay, so don't forget to slit this part open because it has to be separate. 2 for the front and 2 for the back. Good. So don't forget for the ease extension at the back, I did 2 inches here, but for somebody that is like a boy that is chubby, do up to 2.5. Okay, so here I just did 1.5. Okay, and then here 2 inches, but for somebody that is chubby, 2.5. Okay, so I'm now going to remove this. So this that I just cut out to be for the back. So this is the wrong side. One we use in drafting. So I'm just going to trim off all the back there. So first will be the waist. So this is the front, okay? So now to start sewing, I've cut out the pockets. So this is the pocket. I have a video on how to fix a pocket, which I will put in the description box below. So this is the pocket. So all I did is a length of 10 inches and then 6.5 inches is on fold, okay, for 2. And then by the time you are fixing the pocket, it is the same process, okay? Just that when we are making the length of the pocket for adults, we use 7 inches to 8. But for them, like for 10 years, you can use 5 inches. But for him, I'll be making use of 6 inches for the opening. But the procedure is the same thing. Now for the pockets, I'm going to be having one pocket by the side. So this is 2. So I just cut out 2 of the fabric and then I use interfacing to make it stable. All I did is, it is straight because I'm going to make a design. So here I have 11 inches, can you see, by 10 inches, okay, yeah, because I'm going to have a fold here. So I did the same thing for the other pockets. And then for the flap on it, that's also on fold. All I did is to measure 5.5 inches by 7.5 inches, okay? So that is it on that. So the first thing I have to do now is to fix the pocket on the front panel. I fixed the pocket, so this is the front. So the pocket is fixed, can you see? Both sides. So now this is the back, this is the front on it. The next thing I'm going to do so that I'll be able to fix the pocket is this. I'm going to take one side and join it this way. So I'll make sure right side are facing each other, and I'm going to sew from the beginning to the end of one side, and I'll do that to this other side. Then looking at the pocket, so how did I achieve this? All I did is, while this pocket is on fold, I just sew in 2 inches from the beginning to the end, 2 inches. So when you open it up, this is what you have. Then you can now spread this out and give it a good press. So that is how I achieve this pleated form on it. So I'm going to give it a good press. So once you give it a good press, you have something like this. Then the next thing is this. You can just fold 1/2 inch, but I'm just going to overlock this. Okay, once it's overlocked, I place one, this is 1 1/4. I'm just going to sew it straight down, then I fold in 1/2 inch on all other sides. So what I will do next is to do that to the other side and then sew 1 inch here before we now come to fix it. Right now I've joined the sides together. So the next thing I did was to overlock, because since we are going to be sewing it, so I overlocked it. I like everything being neat and give it a good press. So the next thing now is to open it up this way. So this is the front, so you can see the pocket. Now we want to place the pocket this way. How do you know how to place the pocket? It depends on your preference. There's no constant way of doing it, okay? You can just measure from here. You can measure about 11 inches. It just depends on your preference to place it. So you can just place it as about 6 inches below the pockets or 7 inches, so this way, or you can move it down however you like it. So just make sure the center, so because of the ironing, fold it into, so the middle will be on the joining line this way, okay? So I'll sew this, I've not sewn that, so by the time I sew it, then I'll just go here, here, here. You sew it together with the trouser, leaving this opening. So once you've done that, this very one too, all I'm going to do is to place it at about 1/4 inch away this way, making sure everything matches. Then I'm going to sew in 1/2 inch straight down, then fold over. So let me quickly do that to both sides. Pocket has been fixed. So from the upper part I did 10.5, okay? So this is what it looks like. So you can see the pocket. So after sewing this down, I just flip this over and just sew in 1/2 inch. I went in about 3 times. Also here, so that it will prevent it from opening anyhow. So that is the purpose. So what the next thing you are going to do is to now make sure right side are facing each other, and then you are going to sew 1/2 inch for the crotch, 1/2 inch for the crotch. After that, you now open it up this way. So after joining the crotch, you have it, this part being joined together. So you take one here, you sew 1/2 inch together, and here 1/2 inch together, and this is ready. Then we can now talk about the band. So I've joined everything, and this is what I have. So you can see the leg too. So that is what it looks like. So now the next thing is to talk about the band. So I measured round now since I finished sewing, and everything I measured is 41 inches. So I just cut out for the band, I cut out 42 inches. That's because I'll be joining by 1/2 inch. That's why I had extra one. Then on fold, I measured 2 3/4 inches. So 3/4 inches. So this is it, 2 3/4 on fold. So that is what I have here. And also the elastic. So I made the elastic 30 inches. So can you see I made the elastic 30 inches. So what I will do now is to fix the elastic with the band. Then the band is ready. So I just place the elastic in between and then sew it all around. So the next thing is for me to join it to the trouser. So how do you do it? This is the trouser. You put it this way, you pin it down, and that's how you are going to run it all around. And then you make sure you overlock it. Then I'll come and show you the final look. The trouser is ready, and it's so beautiful. Can you see that? Even the pockets. So the hem, all I did is to just fold in 1 inch. I don't usually like sewing my hem, so I use hemming glue for that. So make sure you use the original one. You can see the inside, so beautiful. So I'm just going to ask them to put it on. Can you see that? Can you see? And then note, there are certain materials for men or boys. So there are certain Ankara you want to use for them. You don't want to use busy ones. So that of the boys are always lined, unique, and rare somehow. I don't know how to say it. This is that of the 13 to 14 years. You can see how lovely it looks. So beautiful. Can you see that? Yeah. So ensure you make for your kids. This is just so wonderful, right? So guys, I remain your girl Bilikis. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.